closer to Africa than Europe, the Italian island of Pantelleria is both a physical and historical crossroads in the central Mediterranean. It's been populated since Neolithic times and has played host to countless civilizations.
Pantelleria is now part of Italy, part of their Sicilian island group, and you can get here on a high-speed ferry from Sicily or Tunisia. And either one's a lot quicker than the 2 days it's taken us to sail here. I'm really looking forward to getting ashore and exploring Pantelleria.
I wanted to break away to see the world.
I longed for excitement, the romance of travel.
So we built a boat.
And now we travel the oceans. Join us as we voyage to distant shores.
It's evening by the time our sailboat Two-Step is tied to the town dock in Pantelleria's main harbor. We're the only visiting boat tonight, joining the local fleet of fishing boats, dive boats, and traditional sailing dinghies. For centuries, the economy here relied on the skill and speed of sailing vessels. The goods were transported ashore in small sailing dinghies like these, which are now used only for weekend racing and as proud reminders of Pantelleria's maritime heritage.
We'd like to rent a car to see the island, but tonight we're happy to stretch our legs after our 2-day passage from Sardinia. And what better way than to join the locals strolling along the waterfront for evening passeggiata. Because Pantelleria lies between Tunisia and Sicily, in the middle of the Sicilian Channel, it has been a stepping stone between Europe and Africa throughout history. During World War II, Pantelleria was heavily bombed by the Allies in a 35-day siege which flattened the main town and harbour. Evidence of the bombing can still be seen throughout the town. The war destroyed some of its charm, but it's still preserved in the rest of the island.
The island of Pantelleria is small, about 14 kilometers long and 8 kilometers wide, with one major road running around its circumference. The highest point is Montagne Grande at 836 meters above sea level, part of a dormant volcano that stands 2,000 meters above the bottom of the ocean crust.
Wow, beautiful. The farm fields down there. That one valley is about the only flat spot on the island, and of course, like the rest of the island, it's put into cultivation of grapes.
One of our first stops is at the smaller harbor of Porto Scauri to check in with cruising friends staying on their boats there. Our friend Troots, who is a bit of a character, has been asking other visiting sailors to help the locals pick grapes for the September harvest.
There are many people. You look. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Cruising community is in Porto Scauri with a
5,
vengeance today.
6, 7, 8. 8 people.
Wherever there's
and only
troops,
4
there's
barrels.
a party.
That's not enough for a barrel for 8 people.
At the moment, picking grapes seems to be taking a back seat to the day's happy hour, so we agree to meet in a few days' time. Hot summers and mild winters make Pantelleria an ideal destination for rest and relaxation, and many of the traditional domed-roofed homes called domusos have been modernized into vacation homes. But what makes the peaceful island of Pantelleria unique is that it's a natural health spa. Along the coast and throughout the island, there are volcanically warmed mineral baths, hot springs, and thermal pools, some of them right at seaside to warm you up after a refreshing saltwater swim. This This island doesn't have any beaches, but what it has is really different and really special. Natural hot pools. This one is about 40 degrees Celsius. My own private hot tub, naturally warmed by the volcano. A perfect way to relax at the end of the day.
Hey, is there room for two?
Always room for two.
Whew. Oh, that's perfect.
Lago de Venere, or Venus Lake, is by far the largest lake on the island of Pantelleria. And it has special healing properties. In fact, it's like a natural health spa. The lake is warmed by the volcanic activity, and all around it are these healing mud pools. Look at these gases bubbling up. This is volcanic activity from deep in the center of the island. It's kind of cool bath water. But let's check out the pool beside it. Whoa, this one is really hot, too hot for me to get into. They're all so close together, but the different vents have different temperatures of gas. But it's not just the healing properties of the water that make it so great. Since prehistoric times, people have soothed their aches and smoothed their skin with hot mud from the lake. And wouldn't you know it, just as we're covered from head to foot and settled in to let it dry, the phone rings.
Yes, we're in the mud bath. Okay, thank you for calling. Talk to you later. There you go.
What we'll do to make ourselves beautiful. Actually, I feel a little bit like I'm turning to stone. The mud is starting to get really hard and dry. I can hardly talk or move, but you know, I really do feel quite good. It's stimulating my circulation. The sun is warm, but I'm protected. I don't know, there's something special about this place. The ancients obviously knew what they were doing.
The weird thing about this is, whew, it is really hot.
It is warm.
This is like a hot tub. Hotter than a hot tub. The funny thing is, though, it feels strange to be down here right on top of a volcano. Because that's what this is. This is the hot air, water is coming up from the lava that's down underneath. There's some really hot springs in the bottom. They're like little pool heaters just sort of all over the whole bottom of this. Well, let's see if we can rinse this stuff off.
We're heading up to Montagna Grande, the highest point of the island at 836 meters. There are some unusual hiking trails on Pantelleria, and today we're going to investigate another one of the island's natural phenomena. En route, we walk along the ridge overlooking the vineyards of the Monastero Valley, an important grape-growing area of the island.
Hey, look at this! We've seen a lot of these little shrines around the island, and since we're walking on top of a volcano, we feel it's a good idea to honor the local saints.
We're feeling a bit stiff from our time at sea, but what lies ahead is going to relieve our aching muscles.
Check this out. A natural sauna in the woods. Wow, look at this. It's so hot. The air is as hot as a real sauna. The rock is not too hot to touch. I think this is where the vents are, sort of white deposits. You can feel that's where the hot air is coming out. It doesn't smell sulfuric, but it is really hot.
never been on a hike before where I could just stop and have a sauna along the way.
Well, this is going to be great. We'll sit down and steam up. Yeah, it smells kind of earthy like in here. Really, it's not at all sulfurous. And I guess the size of the entrance just allows the steam to form this level. So up here, it's just like being in a real sauna. It is hot. This whole island really is like a health club. We've got natural mud pools, got the hot baths, hot springs, and a sauna right in the top of a volcano.
And the finishing touch, a little freshwater rinse.
Are you interested in the cruising lifestyle? Are you planning to sail away on a cruising adventure? Or researching cruising areas and destinations? Distant Shores is a television series about the cruising life, with lots of tips for sailors planning to sail away.
This is Oswego, New York. We are entering the Erie Canal system, and this will take us all the way from Lake Ontario to the Hudson River, which gets us to New York City.
Plus destination information to help you make your cruising plans.
Yeah, I can stand on the bottom.
We've been filming Distant Shores for nearly 15 years and know the fun and challenges of the cruising life. We've made Distant Shores with you in mind. We include plenty of cruising tips in this travel series, as well as lifestyle segments and hints for sailors heading to exotic destinations. Encouragement for you and your crew to get out cruising. Destinations include the Intracoastal Waterway, the Bahamas, Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Scandinavia, transatlantic passage making, the French canals, and more.
Hiking along, people constantly come out of their homes to greet us.
Piacere mio tanto.
Sì, sì. The people here are just so friendly and so nice. I stopped to take pictures of the tomatoes, and now we are being invited into her home. As it turns out, this building is actually her kitchen, which is kept separate from the house due to the heat.
This is in a picture of the big places where they make the wine right here in this little tiny town.
This is a local drink that's made here. It's called pasito.
Passito, sì.
Pasito. And it's made from raisins. They dry the grapes and make this very nice drink that Yolanda is sharing with us.
Cinci, alla salute, auguri.
Salute. Salute, Pantelleria.
It's sweet and very nice. Not too strong like a whiskey or anything. Delicious. 2,000 years ago, the Romans introduced the wine growing to the island here, and they've been doing it ever since. This is just such beautiful bunches of grapes. We're helping out our friends here, so getting involved in the wine harvest. And this is a hot day, but a nice way to spend it. Plus, you can eat as many of these beautiful grapes. Oh, that's so sweet. For such a little grape, they're just packed with flavor, and I think that's part of the deal with this. These short, small plants, there's not a lot of rain, but there's lots of sun, and it really just concentrates the flavor.
It's a sweet job because you have sweet hands. And you can eat sweet, but you have not to eat too much sweets because after them you have a diarrhea. Diarrhea. Paul, is it your first job today to harvest grapes?
Yes, the first time I've ever harvested grapes. I've been to a winery in Canada before, but it's pretty different.
And that's not sure, because in Canada you have ice wine.
We invented ice wine in Canada.
This has been a very dry year. There's been fires and very little rain. Consequently, the grapes are quite small. They're bunched together, they're very tight, but they are delicious. They're full of sugar, they have a lot of taste, and they will make an excellent wine this year. Not as much as in other years, but the quality will be high and the alcohol content will be considerably higher because this is all fermented naturally, and the amount of sugar in the grape will influences the final product and the amount of alcohol that will be in the wine.
Next comes the fun part, crushing the grapes into juice for fermentation. And no, we don't stomp them with our dusty feet.
Now the automatic part where high technology takes over.
Our friend takes a sample of the juice and using this meter measures the amount of natural sugar in it.
Moment of truth. 18.
Quanto?
19.
19.
18. It's 18 or 19.
Is this good?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's a good wine. I think we have
Okay.
next year enough to drink. Because on one fat is my name. Huh? It's written.
Ah. Fresh grape
Tu
juice.
bevi un litro? Per questo?
Oh, no.
Quando bevi un litro fa male.
Ooh, wow. Brand fresh, doesn't get any fresher grape juice than that.
Then back at the family farmhouse, the tasting continues with last year's wine and Mama's homemade goodies.
Salute.
Vinci.
Now our reward, well, we didn't work that hard to deserve this, but we're getting a nice snack afterwards with all kinds of local stuff. There's capers, sort of a caper paste, I think. That's what they say. It's made out of capers, which is one of the island's real specialties. Caper
C'è
paste.
chi ci mette la salsa salata, ma
Tastes salty. Tastes like capers. It's really nice on bread. Grazie per
quando viene in Pantelleria telefonare qua pure con macchina.
Oh, okay. Well, next time we come back, telephone, he comes down with the car.
Oppure con
Thank
macchina.
you.
Vieni qua.
Back at Porto Scauri, we've arranged to meet with a team of archaeologists who are excavating a shipwreck there. The ship dates from the late Roman or early Byzantine period, about 1500 years ago, and was recently discovered buried right in the entrance to the harbor. Paul and I are invited to join them today as they attempt to recover a fragile piece of wood, the only remainder of the ship's hull in this specially designed container. If they're successful, it will be a valuable artifact for carbon dating, a process that will provide more accurate information on the age of the ship. Before joining the divers, Paul talks to project leader Sebastiano Tusa.
Our work is to dig this wreck that was discovered some years ago. It is a very important wreck. It is dated to the late Roman period. It means in the days in which the Roman Empire collapsed. In that period, this island was a very important place to produce cooking ware. They were producing these pots and they were bringing to North Africa, to southern Italy, to Sicily, to Spain, also to Sardinia. And this wreck was loading this cargo here, and for reasons that till now we don't know exactly, that ship sank in this place.
I'm really interested in learning more about the recovery work they're doing, so I decide to stay on the surface while Paul joins the divers.
Are these more of the tiles or parts of the ship?
No. Come si può dire zavorra?
The stones for the boat.
Oh,
The ballast
for
to
the
keep the...
stabilization involved.
Right.
Well, I think what we're doing is going to go take a look at this Byzantine shipwreck. It's supposed to be from around the 5th century AD, which means it's been down there for about 1,500 years. I don't think there's that much left of the ship itself from what they've been telling me. But there's all kinds of stuff that they found on the ship. There's pottery, tiles that show them where the cabin house was,
And it should be really interesting. I mean, something that's been on the bottom for this long, 1,500 years. The history around this place is unbelievable.
They are going now to recover the piece of wood, piece of the wood of the boat. We have just the cargo. It's 10 meters depth.
Paul's down with the dive team. We didn't have scuba tanks today, so he's free diving with them and observing the recovery of this piece of wood from the ship. Paul and I do a lot of free diving from our boat, and over the years have built up our ability to breath hold. But Paul is especially skilled. He can get into a very relaxed state and lie on the bottom observing or filming for quite a while. I've timed him underwater for up to 2 full minutes without a scuba tank. Each time he comes up for a breath, he gives me the okay signal, and he has a dive buddy on the bottom. But it's not just cargo they're finding on the bottom. This octopus appears as if he wants to join the team and demonstrates his underwater skills. He's especially interested in the camera too, so the camera operator rises to the surface to introduce his new assistant.
Hello.
Who knows what you'll find down there? But enough socializing. Time to get back to the wreck.
Ciao.
Down below, the dive team is preparing to excavate the small piece of the ship's hull that they've found, and are still getting used to Paul being on the bottom without a scuba tank.
Since the piece of wood they've discovered in the silt is so fragile, they've designed this special padded tray to contain it. Now exposed, it's barely holding together with the water pressure, and there's a real danger of it disintegrating in their hands. With care and patience, they manage to get it safely onto the supportive tray. Now the tricky job of wrapping it in the padding and getting it into the tube in one piece. Back in the lab, it will be used for carbon dating and treated chemically to preserve it. The mission is a success. Oh, that was excellent. It was really, really great. Just to see this stuff so old. And lifting up that piece of the wood, both people so carefully picking it up. And you can see it's just almost like paper mache. It's so fragile and rotten after all of the centuries, millennium, that it's been sitting on the bottom right here in the harbor. Incredible.
Congratulazioni per l'apnea.
Notevole apnea.
Congratulations for you, for your supervision.
Oh,
Supervision.
I'm supervising, yes. Make sure that everything is okay. Yes. So they're happy that it works okay?
Yes,
It's
sure.
coming all right. I am very happy. That was really an exciting dive. We're going to get out of their way and let them get back to work now, but it's just great to get a little window into the incredible history of this island. I think a boat's kind of like a magic carpet. It takes you to such great places, like beautiful little Pantelleria in the background here. What a fantastic visit. We met so many great people. Everyone is just so much fun. And it was really wonderful exploring an island that's just like a little health spa in the middle of the Mediterranean. Are you interested in the cruising lifestyle? Are you planning to sail away on a cruising adventure? Or researching cruising areas and destinations? Distant Shores is a television series about the cruising life, with lots of tips for sailors planning to sail away.
This is Oswego, New York. We are entering the Erie Canal system, and this will take us all the way from Lake Ontario to the Hudson River, which gets us to New York City.
Plus destination information to help you make your cruising plans.
I can stand on the bottom.
We've been filming Distant Shores for nearly 15 years and know the fun and challenges of the cruising life. We've made Distant Shores with you in mind. We include plenty of cruising tips in this travel series, as well as lifestyle segments and hints for sailors heading to exotic destinations. Encouragement for you and your crew to get out cruising. Destinations include the Intracoastal Waterway, the Bahamas, Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Scandinavia, transatlantic passage making, the French canals, and more.